Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.
Good morning, race fans, and welcome to Today at the Races at Pimlico Racecourse on this absolutely stunning Memorial Day Monday. I'm joined by Dave Rodman this morning. And Dave, after a few days of a crummy weather, Mother Nature's come through today.
Yeah, crummy's the word for it. But yeah, coming through with a high temperature in the lower 70s today. Plenty of sunshine. It's been a wild, wild month of May with temperatures in the 90s and then the 50s and then rain and lightning and who knows what else. But we've had a lot of good days in between, so glad to see the sun back out here in Baltimore.
As I said to Keith Fusel yesterday, Mother Nature is undefeated. She brings you bad days, and then she brings you days like this, and it just couldn't be better. We have got a lot to get to this afternoon, but let's just start with next weekend. Belmont Stakes weekend. We have the Belmont Stakes Watch Party. That's Saturday, June 5th. Gates open at 11 a.m. at Laurel Park and at Pimlico, and advanced wagering is available on Friday, June 4th. Reserved seating is available. Go to laurelpark.com or pimlico.com for more information on that. Dave, big carryover. Rainbow Pick 6. Doesn't get hit again. This is a new record.
$833,252 in the Rainbow Pick 6. We have 8 races today, so don't sleep on the fact that it starts with race 3. So, you're counting on that 4th race start of the Pick 6. No, it's race 3 today, races 3 through 8. The Rainbow Pick 6. Unsolved again yesterday. We've come close a couple of times. Day before yesterday with a single ticket. And the poor person ran second there with that single ticket for all the money. We're looking for one single ticket with all the winners on it. Even if you don't, and it carries again, I think it's going to pay pretty good today.
Yeah, it paid over $4 grand yesterday.
Right.
So they will pay pretty well. But I'm going to try to solve it today and take it home. Let's get right into it. Race 1 kicks off the day. Early Pick 5 starts in race 1. The Early Pick 5 paid $3,622 yesterday, 50-cent minimum mandatory payout, 12% takeout on the Early Pick 5. Races 1 through 5. Race 1 is for fillies and mares 3 and up, which have not won a race in 6 months or never won a 4 going a mile and 16th. And we're going to get started with your top pick in this spot, Dave. That's the 2 2 Carat, who rallied from far back in her most recent start on May 6th.
Yeah, you mentioned that pick 5 and a good payout. Don't sleep on that. That early pick 5 with a mandatory payout. I think this race and the third race are kind of the two kind of sleeper races where you could get a price. And I'm aiming for a bit of a price in here. Number 2, 2 Carat, who was beaten by Postino's Secret, Hoss Kitten, some of the rivals she'll face again today last time out. There's a lack of speed in the race that concerns me, really. There's really not a lot of no speed at all. But I like the way that 2 Carat ran last time out, and with his drying track to fast after the mud and the slop we've had the few days, maybe it'll be a good setup for her today. 2 Carat with a good gallop out, kind of a sneaky good gallop out behind Postino's Secret and Hoss Kitten last time out. Alexander Crispin gets them out here for 2 Carat. There's not a many lengths separating this group of fillies and mares, but again, the lack of speed.
The lack of speed, and 2 Carat, maybe a little bit better race than it appears. She came from way back. She only gets beat 4 lengths for the whole thing in that last start, but maybe a little bit better position. And as you mentioned, with not a lot of speed in it, she probably should be a bit better positioned. My top pick is the 5, Hoss Kitten. Hoss Kitten might be able to provide some of the speed. We're going to take a look at her last start on May 6th, where she just hops at the start just a little bit, but it's just enough that she gets outrun a little bit to the first turn. The horse that goes to the lead on the outside is just flying on out there. But you see, she just hops a little bit. Now, if you saw the video like 4 seconds earlier, you'd see that she's a bad gate horse. She doesn't stand well.
Yeah.
But she does rally to get to the lead midway to the turn and then gets it hung on her.
With a good break, I mean, she should be the speed here. But here she is, perched like a bird on a wire, and they're going to try to pick her off, and they do. Here comes Olive's Bumpa on the outside, and this is what we've seen many times from her, especially going 2 turns. So she's going to be a short price. Now, Forrest Boyce gets aboard today, who's really having a hot riding hand of late here. Jockey change for her from last out. Forrest Boyce, through last week, thinking about her record, she was 3 for 13, 10-day streak, and 6 for 28 the last 30 days. So you've got a hot rider. She's riding real well. Forrest Boyce here, so maybe this will do the trick on Hoss Kitten. A good break, a clean sail, and hopefully she won't be perched like a bird again.
Yeah, she's. She could be the speed here. I mean, she could get to the lead this afternoon. A 3, My Queen Michelle, even money on the morning line, will be your most likely favorite. She drops with solid figures. It should work for her, but I've never had a lot of faith in My Queen Michelle.
Yeah, neither have I. I tell you, the only good thing about her in her past performance lines, that race at Park, 3 back was pretty nice. Sugar Streak is 3 back. She came back to win an open 12-5 race next time out. So this is just a nickel race. There's some conditions attached. The beaten nickel, so
it should work.
It should work for her today. But she's kind of been a teaser for me here, not really quite getting a job done.
In her defense, that race on January 30th was, I remember talking about that race and said, that race should work for her, and it did. She got the job done. That's the only win on her form. So again, this race should work for her, but as you mentioned in your early pick about the early pick 5, there's certainly going to be a shot for a price in the opener. As we move to race 2, this kicks off the early pick 4. This is a maiden special weight for 3-year-old fillies. This one comes off the turf. It will be contested going 1 1/16 on the main track, and we're going to start with our top pick. Both you and I agree on this. A 2, Closer to the Heart. Second off a break, 4 Gram Motion, but Scott has some good solid efforts on the main track last year.
Yeah, first starts as a 2-year-old sprinting at Pimlico and at Laurel. She faced a lot tougher, like Whiskey and Rye, Cupid Doll. That you see that in the running line, that draws your attention. As her second race back after time away, her second start here as a 3-year-old. She's been off for December to that turf race in May up in New York, Belmont, getting Lasix for the first time there. So it's the second time Lasix, second off the layoff. She's got the company lines here, and frankly, she doesn't have a whole lot to beat.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to beat. We'll talk about the 6 a little bit here today. Magic Election. The blinkers come off. Second time for Saul Ramirez. And really has not 2 of her 4 starts. She bore out at the start in her last start. She got loose Two races before that.
Mm-hmm.
A couple good races going short and long last November and December, but certainly is going to have to do a lot better.
She's going to have to keep her mind together.
Sure.
I mean, she's a quirky kind of filly. I forgot about that fact. Yeah, it's right there in the running line. Ran loose pre-race, 3 races back over at Laurel back in December. Blinkers come off. They've been on for the last couple of times. She bore out badly at the start last time out, then was deep on the turn.
Right.
Party was pretty much over from the beginning there for her, but that's been a nice race. A race won by Sonetta.
Sure.
Wicked Hot, Blushable, 2 winners out of that race last time out. So can she keep her mind together, put it together? Magic Election today with the blinkers off.
I hope has a name come out of that same race and win on that race on May 6th.
Right, Hope has a name. Delaware won the finale. I think like was 67 by or somewhere in there, which is about as good as close to the Hearts last on the turf.
Sure, no doubt about that. Race 2, 2-6 for Dave, 2-4 for myself as we move to race 3. Race 3 kicks off a couple things. Let's start with the Super High 5. Super High 5 starts in race 3. All races with 7 or more runners, Super High 5 wagering is available. No carryover from yesterday. However, we have a big carryover in the Rainbow Pick 6, which gets started right here in race 3. $833,252 in the carryover. They bet a bunch of money into the Rainbow Pick 6 yesterday. I expect even more today.
Yeah, I think so, because with the races off the turf, maybe somebody takes a couple of shots with some. I have a single idea I'll tell you about later, and maybe this could be. This could be what it looks like on paper, Company Clown at 9 to 5, or it could be a who knows what in here. This is one of the tougher.
Well,
I think
yesterday
to start as a sequence.
It's funny. Yesterday, Keith said there's going to be opportunities for big payouts yesterday, and there certainly were. We're going to get to that a little bit later on in the show. However, I did create a ticket for the Rainbow Pick 6. It's a $48 ticket, a very affordable ticket, and I use the 4 and the 6 in race 3. Company Clown will be your favorite in the race 3. Race 4, I go 4 deep. I use the 3, the 5, the 7, and the 10. Race 5, 3 deep there. 1, 2, and 7. The 2 Renomes is my top pick in the 5th. Race 6, 2 of them again, 7 and 11. Race 8, I just hit race 7. Excuse me, I just hit the all button here. I think this race is pretty wide open. It's a scratch to a 5-horse field.
Wise move.
All these horses can run a little bit. My long shot pick in for the Rainbow Pick 6 is the 2 Tappin' Cat. Not going to quite get what I hoped for, which was an off track. The track, by the way, is absolutely fast. We didn't get to the conditions. We were so excited about the weather, but the track is fast after 3 or 4 days of rain. So that's going to hurt Tappin' Cat a little bit. And my single comes in race 8. I'm going to reach here. I'm going to reach on All About Audrey. I do believe she could be the speed going long for the first time this afternoon, and she is going to be my single in a race that comes off the turf and not a lot in it. So there you have it, $48 ticket for the Rainbow Pick 6, and if I can take that one down, Dave, you might not see me for just a little while anyway.
Well, $48 for a chance at a few thousand, or maybe the whole ticket. Yeah, sure. I'll give you. You can just 1 week. 1 week. Got to come back for
just
next
1 week. Yeah, no,
we need you.
I'm not going far, but thank you. Race 3 is for 3 and up. Non-winners of a race in 6 months or never won 4 going 3/4 of a mile. We're going to start with our top pick, the 6 Company Clown for Claudio Gonzalez. This one is coming off a win on May 20th, and we're going to take a quick look at this video here, Dave, and this horse got game late in the stretch when he dug in.
Yeah, showed another gear there. The good thing is the runner-up, the Cook brothers, who's closing in the blue colors as well, I believe. On the outside, I'm not sure where he is. It came back to run a good second next time out. There's Cook Brothers second. They're the 6 in the blue colors. No, it blue on. But he ran second for the 12.5 level. So can you believe in the race? 11 days rest coming back. He's going to have to run the exact same race, I think, here because they're all kind of like upper 50, low 60 buyer number type horses here.
Sure.
And can he come back in 11 days and repeat that effort from the Claudio Bond? Of course he can.
Of course he can.
But I think the race is a little more wide open than it appears on paper. You've got Speed of Blue Danube, who pressed a sharp pace there last time out from the inside and hung in well to the final few yards. You have the talented Dr. B. Angel Cruz aboard, who prompted a good pace in his first start back since February. So second start back here from the Hugh McMahon barn with talented Dr. B. And my long shot, if you see some closers really rallying here, it'll be tough to tell. Kind of a closer who's gotten a lot of trouble keeping the peace. Bobby Leaf Barn got into a lot of trouble, had to check hard 2 races back. They ran him back on May 15th on the turf. That's as good as a workout because he wasn't going to win that race. He was 60-1. That was a mile and a 16th, so he's going to be fit, hoping for a clean, traffic-free trip. Keeping the peace should be rolling for a share.
As you mentioned, there could be a shot here to upset the favorite, and I think the 6 Company Clown might be a single on a lot of people's tickets.
Yeah.
I was tempted, but as you mentioned, the talented Dr. B, Blue Danube, all horses that are running pretty close to Company Clown. The 6-4 for myself, 6-5 for Dave in race 3. As we move to race 4, which kicks off the late pick 5 this afternoon. No carryover, but the late pick 5 yesterday, Dave, paid $10,550 to the late pick 5. So you'll want to get in on all
we
these.
almost had a carryover in the pick 5. I think a lot of them were paying 4 or 5 yesterday, so that would have been something here. But anyway, it is a pick 5 with carryover potential if no one picks all 5 in the pick 5.
That is right, and if that happens, we come back racing Friday next week. We go to our 3-day-a-week schedule starting next week. Race 4 is a maiden special weight that comes off the turf. It will be run at a mile and 16th on the main track, and we're going to start with your top pick in here, and that's the 10 Cosmicality for Miguel Vera, the red-hot Miguel Vera. Second off a layoff, he hits at about 20%.
Yeah, debut was a sprint against Johnny Sack. Pretty good field at Laurel in February. Time away. They immediately stretch him out to 2 turns. They put the blinkers on him. Well, they may have blinkers on him today, but it may not be the same kind of blinkers, all right? As a trainer, you can attest to, right? I mean, what would you do? This horse literally ran off. He was keyed up. He was unable to settle, opened up 10 lengths down the backstretch, and you pretty much knew it was over at about the 5/8 pole, maybe even before that, because he would not settle on the lead. Maybe a subtle change in equipment, different kind of blinkers today. He only gave way in the final few yards, so he went from second at the 8th pole to 6th in the last, say, 16th of a mile.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, if he's coming back with blinkers today, probably open him up a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was a little keen first-time blinkers last time. I have the 3 Mamza on top, 4 Kelly Breen. This is second off a break, a nice return on the turf at Gulfstream Park on April 24th. But he showed some good races last year while sprinting on the main track. A nice race going 7/8 of a mile in the main special weight at Aqueduct. But I think the stretch out's going to suit on the main track for this one, who's by not this time out of a pulpit mare.
First time back on the dirt for the new barn, Kelly Breen here. So, yeah, he definitely figures in there, and I'd definitely consider.
The 5 flight mat for Kelly Rubley. We haven't seen this one since the beginning of the year, but 2 positive races while routing at this maiden special weight level, both times at Laurel Park, and has been working forwardly.
Yeah, and this horse last year, late in a 2-year-old season, kind of ran against the bubbling under type good 2-year-olds at the time at Laurel, Shack Queen King and Erewhon, horses who tried to make some noise. Yeah, exactly. So Legamo, and then added the blinkers, just failed as a favorite on a sloppy track at January. He's been retooled. Kelly Rubley, maybe that barn is really beginning to heat up here. They had a winner with My Man Pots and Pans on the turf on the finale this week at Pimlico. He's been freshened up. and I think he's a real danger in the spot, but I don't know where he's going to fit into the pace scheme of things here. Will he duel or chase Cosmicality? That's the real tricky part about this race.
Well, he certainly has a position advantage of breaking a little bit more toward the fence than the outside horse 10 for Miguel Vera. That is race 4. We need to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll talk about the 5th race, and that kicks off the late pick 4.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground on her inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Today at the Races at Pimlico. Tim Tulloch joined by Dave Rodman as we get into race 5. Race 5 kicks off the late pick 4, and this is a maiden race for maiden claiming 10,000, going 3/4 of a mile. And Dave, you have the 2 Renomes on top. So do I, coming in for Bob Vugelik with 2 good recent races. Now, my problem with Renomes is he had every opportunity to win that last race.
Well, my problem with Renomes is she's 7 to 5 in the morning line.
Yeah,
It's just a short price, but
that doesn't help.
yeah, maybe if you're looking for a price here, I don't know. She ran against Sick Pack Sarah in her debut, and if you want to look at that filly, just look at her. She's scratched in today's 6th race. Look at her record now. Then in a fast track, kind of chased a loose leader out there in Great Cause. I thought it was a good effort, and then she went and galloped out past that loose leader, Great Cause. Now, what's to say that maybe that sloppy track was a good effort, but maybe not her best effort?
Sure.
You know, maybe she ran okay on the slop, but she's better on a fast track. So I think she'll be tactical enough in this spot. I just don't really care for the short price in here.
It certainly looks like it should set up for her. I mean, she was in a perfect spot in her last start, and she just couldn't get by the eventual winner, Rain Secret. The 7 to the outside, Slip Sliding. We're going to look at Slip Sliding's last race now. You don't see the break, but Slip Sliding broke sharp, then dropped back, but then we get this mess right here.
Yeah, a mess right there. But was it her fault? Or was it horse kind of coming out on her? I think she's trying to lean in a little bit. Watch her here.
She certainly is.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
You see what I'm saying? So, she's going to have to really kind of run a straight course today. She followed the winner in that race, Irish Saga. You didn't see it on the turn. She moved pretty much in tandem with Irish Saga, but she had a little tendency there to drift in. So Slip Sliding, certainly a use on the ticket. But, the nearer your pick 6 destination, the more you're slip sliding away.
Exactly.
I think Paul Simon said that.
Paul Simon did say that.
He did.
I'm going to you keep going. That's good. No. That's good. What about eggnog on the fence?
50 ways to lose your pick 6.
Yeah, 50
right.
ways to lose your pick 6. 50 ways to make eggnog on a holiday weekend. That's the 1 horse for Damon Del Vico. 2-1 on the line, and just really kind of been hanging around for the last few races.
She's kind of really been a disappointment. Maybe she can put it together. Renomes has beaten her twice, and I thought with very little excuse in there. Long shot, who knows what? I put the 5 on the bottom of the ticket because she at least dueled in a 23/4 for a while at Pimlico in the slip sliding race, and then just kind of gave way. Newcomer, that's going to be Jorge Ruiz aboard on Erica Jane, who's popped with a couple of long shots yesterday we'll talk about, a couple of nice winners.
Nice winners for Georgia yesterday. As we move on to race 6, this is a state bred allowance race that comes off the grass. We'll be running 5/8 of a mile on the main track, and we're going to start with our top pick. Both you and I agree here. The 7, Can the Queen. We've got some scratches in here. The 1, 6-pack Sarah, I think was a key scratch. The 5 had the Notion, I think, is another key scratch when it came off. Margie's Heaven, who was my top pick before, comes out. The 8 Spun Glass, and then some horses toward the outside. But let's start with Can the Queen for Rudy Sanchez Solomon. Here, a good race coming from off the layoff on the grass. Gets back to the main track 2 or 3 starts ago, pretty good efforts. 3 starts ago over sloppy track, close to a lifetime best.
This race for me has gone from I have no idea to a pick 6 single. I think the 7 is a single. The Queen, I think she's the speed of the speed. Earlier this morning, we had a lot more speed in the body of the race, even taken off the turf. Then there were a bunch of scratches. So the pace scenario, things change. Coming out of that race, the very one, 5 ace, 22, 44, and 3 on the turf. She's always been a fast mare. I think she's kind of the speed of any speed in here. I know the Princess, the 2-horse, Princess Kokachin, you're right.
I beat you on a name.
No,
I'm so impressed with
myself.
myself.
I know. I just I'm
impressed with myself. Go on.
You're right. You got me.
Yeah.
The 2-horse.
Never happens, by the way.
The 2-horse is very quick out of the gate in the Maryland 4 or 5 strides at Charlestown with the X-Man for the Robb Barn. She opened up, but, maybe she's faster than Ken the Queen that opening 16th or so, but I think they'll be both on the muscle here, but I think Ken the Queen maybe a little more stamina.
Horse that's interesting to me is the 11 on the outside. My Girl, coming off of a break, hasn't run since February 20th, ran in the wide country, way over her head there. But you look at her 2 previous races, good solid speed figures, a 69, a 66. She's shown speed in both of those races. She comes in here with some good works, including a sharp 35-3 at the Big T on May 28th. With
the blinkers, I would assume.
I would assume, yes. Blinks go on.
Yeah, right. You see that blinker change and then a workout at Timonium, a good sharp workout, best of 9. Can she pass a horse with the blinkers on? Can she stay with those blinkers on? She's got a couple speeds to her inside, including Princess Kokachin.
Right, and I like the outside speed because, sometimes horses, it's not that they absolutely need the lead, but some horses just need clear air.
Yep.
And they'll lay off a pace a little bit if they're in clean air, and when they're not, they get anxious and don't want to do that.
If there's a massive duel and, Italian dressing may be worth a flyer on a ticket or 2. I mean, she's really kind of the only closer in the race, and who knows what those blinkers are going to do to My Girl. Can the Queen's fast? We know the 2 is fast. Mischief's Model has some early zip. If they really go at it, maybe Italian dressing to close is the only closer in the race.
For Hammy Smith
and for a while, I had her as a top pick when there was more speed in the race and kind of downgraded her a little bit. Yeah.
We see this race pretty similar. We both have this 7 on top. As we move to race 7, feature race of the day, this is a 3 other than optional $50,000 claiming race. Take out the 6, Shane's Jewel, who was your morning line favorite. But this race comes up very evenly matched the way I see it. I hit the all button here with only 5 horses in it. We're going to start with the 3, your top pick, Hanalei's Houdini. First off the claim for Kieran McGee. I really like this horse a little bit more when I thought the racetrack was going to have a lot more moisture in it. But once again, the track maintenance crew, Chris Bosley and his crew, has got this racetrack fast after just tons of rain, which is remarkable. Hanalei's Houdini has been running quite well with good, consistent numbers.
Yeah, I thought he ran okay. It could be a timely claim here for Kieran McGee off that race in mid-May. Reached in for the $35,000 tag, runs back for 40 today. The race won by Mischief Afoot. He loomed, chasing a pretty good pace, 23 and change. The 6 furlongs, 10-4 that day. Mischief Afoot, the winner, came from dead last to win, but he loomed at the top of the stretch like he was going to do something, make an impact, and just kind of flattened out there in the last 1/8 of a mile, but maybe ran into a quick pace. There won't be a hot pace here today, I don't believe. And that, the question is what's going to happen with Working on a Dream, who got a perfect ride on the inside, but Charlie Marquez last time out. Charlie not here today, but Mauricio Caramanos, up to him to get him out of the gate and maybe nurse him along. The only other horse I kind of looked at as an upset was Just Whistle, who didn't appear comfortable against Galerio and Money Ride, and boy, did they get away from the field there in the sloppy track. But back on a fast track today, you look at the cycle of this horse last year as a 5-year-old. It took him 2-3 races to get into stride, and he peaked after a couple of races under his belt. So don't overlook him. He's kind of a quirky running horse from what I've seen on video, but Forest Boys can maybe get him settled and get his rhythm going.
The 2 Tappin' Cat is my long shot pick in my Rainbow Pick 6. This is a horse that's getting back to a route this afternoon. He draws the inside. Again, this is another one that would have benefited from a moisture in the racetrack. We're going to go back to January 19th of 2020, this past year, where this horse ran a lifetime best 92 by her speed figure, just missed. Ran right behind Harper's first ride. We don't get the slop today, but this horse hasn't routed since last February and gets to go route ground here today.
Yeah, I mean, stretching back out here, he's probably going to be more forward. Maybe maybe kind of the pace menace to working on a dream. Interesting is I see you go all on the pick 6, right?
I went all here.
Yeah,
No
and in a 5-horse field, that tells you how tactical decisions may make a difference here.
It certainly will. Nice race in race 7, evenly matched. As we move to race 8, this is a maiden 16, comes off the turf, mile and 16th on the main track. Dave, you have the 3 Celestial Diva on top for Hammy Smith, adds the blinkers and drops in class.
Yeah, horse who really shows very little form, but I thought a race debut run at Laurel back in April was okay. Was wide the entire trip and kind of ran even paced in there. I tell you what, she had the 1 hole that day, and I watched the race and I could hardly see her. She's a little tiny thing. She's down inside, but when she got outside, she kind of started to run a little bit. Had a good decent advance on the turn for that level, and kind of flattened out. And then it was a muddy track, and after that, the turf experiment. Now against this field and the drop and the blinkers on, maybe she could do the trick here with the X-Man aboard, who's close to 1,000 career victories coming into today with what 996 lifetime.
Yeah, he's getting closer. I went with the 2 All About Audrey, 10-1 on the line. I like this filly today. I think I'm going to like this filly stretching out on the main track. I think she's capable of getting the lead. She might even get an easy lead at a much easier pace than she's run going short when she's made the lead. And I think if she does that, I'm going to take a shot with All About Audrey. That's going to do it for a race card this afternoon, but we've got a few more other things to talk about as we move into the lightning round, and we're going to get that started right now. Well, we talked about big prices earlier in the show, Dave, and we got kneecapped yesterday by Dale Capuano. How often do you see Dale Capuano pay these types of prices? And got started in race 2 with Scarlet Tanager coming on the outside, a $13 winner.
My big question is, why did these 2 horses pay such a price yesterday? Scarlet Tanager getting the blinkers on. If you watched any of Scarlet Tanager's races, kind of been cheating a little bit. Got him outside, and that was it. And here's another outside runner from the Dale Cap barn who paid a big price.
$45. Just wave and smile.
Just wave and smile, and that's exactly what Jorge Ruiz did down the line. Maybe not. I can't tell if he's smiling and he didn't wave, but he's very comfortable.
Well, going with the Keith Fustel theory, the first rider I ran into today walking through, actually the first one was Victor Carrasco. The second one was George Ruiz, and he was smiling, but he typically is. Big day for George and Dale Capuano with those 2 big priced winners. Pick 6, we're going to talk about that again, the carryover. Remember, the race starts, the Pick 6 starts in race 3. Race 3 for the Rainbow Pick 6. It was well played yesterday. I expect it to be well played again this afternoon.
Yeah, Tim, we got that $48 ticket. Add, subtract, get some buddies together, maybe play a nice ticket today as the Rainbow Pick 6 keeps growing and growing.
It does. And, of course, today, let's not forget, today is Memorial Day. Very special day around the country. Barbecues, racing, but let's not forget the 1,304,684 American servicemen and women who have given it all, and we do not want to forget them. And if you haven't made a trip to Arlington National, if you haven't gone to Gettysburg or any of the war memorials in D.C., I certainly encourage people to do that.
Yeah, as a Maryland newcomer some 30 years ago, that was some of the best trips I've ever made to just go to Arlington and see a lot of the memorials in D.C. Here's a stunner. It's this year's the 80th anniversary of Pearl Harbor and the 20th anniversary of 9/11. So wow, that's a start. Thanks to all who've given their all for this country and our freedom.
No doubt about that. And if you're under 30 and you haven't been down there, please go and try to gain some perspective about what these men and women have given. That's going to do it for us. You're going to be right back with Scratches and Changes.
Right. A few moments.
And Callie Francois joins me this afternoon for all the racing action. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Good luck.